Welcome back, guys, and today we will be showing off a Hog Mega Knight Inferno Dragon, kind of Zap Baity-ish deck that I've been having fun with recently. As I talked about in the last video, Fireball or Poison is a choice. Poison will help you against Graveyard. It'll give you a really good chance to win against any Graveyard except Splash Jar. That's a hard counter, regardless of whether you have Poison. Although it does kind of give you maybe a chance if they misplay or if you outplay them really hard, which I actually do. I have a Splash Yard win here. But before we get into that, I'm going to play the rest of the Grand Challenge, currently 10-1, and I'll just go ahead and hop into that. So yeah, if you're going to go Fireball, you'll be better against 3 Musk, but Poison helps you against Graveyard and Night Witch decks mainly. It helps Hog's offense against Swarm Troops as well. So, starting out with bats, you kind of want Hog in hand just in case they like pump and you can like punish, but hopefully Ice Spirit will hop onto one of those. Nope. Hog was my last card. Ice Spirit, Knight, Skeletons. This is obviously a cycle deck. Not sure what it. Cycle Loon. If he zaps Inferno Dragon, bats will just kill it. Yeah, that's fine. Close one, but made it out alive. Stack when they tornado and you have troops behind like that. Try to stack troops so that maybe you can get extra damage. Look, this Inferno Dragon's gonna lock on, and I may win the game off this Inferno Dragon. I'm gonna zap so I can get it extra damage. Let's go. Yeah, so if they're gonna tornado like that, you might as well just overwhelm it. So those goblins actually made that knight die way faster. And yeah, you just overwhelm behind it, and that entire time Hog is being pulled in. It's still tanking, and he just committed an elixir just to move the Hog, and you're still getting some value out of it for a little bit at least. So if you have the opportunity to use that Hog to tank and to be useful, then you definitely should try. That was dumb of me to start Inferno Dragon in the back like that. This game isn't won yet because I don't have a ton of air defense. Like, I have to make use of bats and baiting out zaps on Inferno Dragon to get damage, so I need to actually pay attention to what I'm doing. I want to keep my air counters in hand. No hits, awesome. I just need to buy myself time. His deck should be a hard counter, but he misplayed. That obviously won't do enough damage. Yeah, so the two decks that hard counter this are Splash Shard. Okay, if they have Ice Wiz instead of Electro Wizard, then you can actually win. Why did my music stop? Maybe it wasn't there. My bad. that game was too funny to restart this recording though, so. Anyway, yeah, so the two decks that are hard are like Loon Cycle, and Lava Loon is kind of doable, because you can rush a Hog opposite lane. They can stack multiple Inferno Dragons because you cycle decently fast, and Mega Knight can kind of pressure those decks pretty well, but Loon Cycle typically is difficult because they can get an Ice Golem, for example, in front of their balloon and then just zap bats. But you can kind of make it work if you get offense going like I did that game, and Inferno Dragon stacking can kind of be a problem for them. But yeah, that deck and Splash Art with Electro Wiz, also P.E.K.K.A with Electro Wiz can be difficult matchups. But there's some wiggle room, and everything else this deck is pretty good against. 3 Musk can be a problem at times, but it just depends. The 3 Musk with Minion Horde deck can be a problem. More so if you have Poison than Fireball. This is probably Expo. Electro Wiz is commonly used in an Expo deck right now, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, the deck has Mega Minion as well. And it has Rocket, so yeah, this is Expo. He also has Tornado. Okay, it's no. This is Hog. Never mind. I'm stupid. I didn't think this deck had a Mega Knight. Go. I didn't think this deck had Mega Minion in it. It's supposed to have. Oh, whatever. I'm doing well. Okay. If he wants to rocket, that'll let him. Oh, okay, so it is Expo. He has Log, so bats are gonna get a lot of value. That would, even if that Tombstone hadn't died, it wouldn't have pulled. This deck does pretty well against Expo, so I should be fine here. You just gotta make sure you get that Mega Knight to connect. Try to always get it to jump to the Expo as opposed to walking up to it and whatnot. And if they ever use Tornado, you rush opposite lane with Hog on. If they ever use Tornado on a Mega Knight. Usually though, the Tornado, I mean, this deck doesn't have Tombstone and Tornado, so that kind of makes this matchup more difficult than it normally would be. Wait, what? Did the Mega Minion kill all of the bats? I must have misplaced them. I thought it was locked onto Mega Knight already. But yeah, the fact that he has Tornado and Tombstone is actually kind of hard. Okay, I took a little bit more damage there. He doesn't have a Log in hand now. I took a little bit more damage so that I could stack up a push that would then counter push successfully. Even though I allowed some damage, it was worth it. Nice. Woo! 12 wins, baby. Yeah, in some ways that was more difficult. I mean, that was definitely more difficult than the normal variation of that deck. It's not supposed to have Tombstone. It's supposed to have skeletons. Yeah, skeletons. Tombstone actually made that a really hard deck to get any Hogs through. What am I doing? Anyway, gosh, I can't click. I was just curious on his profile. Okay, so that's a pretty good player. That's a big improvement. I mean, he may be like me and he never pushes ladder and then decides to one season. Okay, but so here's a hard counter. If they have Electro Wiz, it's a hard counter. So I'm not just making up excuses. We'll go over why this is a hard counter. So skeletons help you cycle and get the cards you need in hand, and not that big a deal for this, but the main thing is, since he has Knight instead of Ice Golem, Knight is even like a harder Mega Knight counter. You just put it down and then any other troop will help take it out. Even Knight plus skeletons can counter a Mega Knight very effectively if the Knight, you just make sure the Knight is hitting Mega Knight is hitting the Knight, and anyway, obviously, and then you have any other troop. Bowler can also stop Mega Knight really well. Bowler also stops Ice Golem and Hog very well. Electro Wiz resets the Inferno Dragon. Tornado, obviously a Hog counter. And then I have no like great counters to Graveyard. I will say if I had Fireball, like there's no way I win this matchup. Defensive Poisons make this some, not manageable, but it makes it more like a 70-30 in his favor instead of like a 100-0 or a 90-10. But we'll just get into it and I'll show you some of the things you can do. Oh, and just saying this, once he realizes what the deck matchup is, or just because, I don't know, he's a mean person, he starts BMing me a lot. I don't say anything in game, but just to show that, I don't know if he just thought it was funny. I screwed this up. I played the Hog too late to pull, and then he ends up having Tornado, and I think he realizes he has a hard counter. Or he's just a jerk, I don't know. But I end up going to his clan afterwards. I realized this was Splash Art as soon as I saw Tornado. I was thinking, yeah, I mean, definitely wants to see Bowler. But so I knew it was Splash Art, and I was thinking of ways to get around that. And the way to get around it is basically you try to use Inferno Dragon when he doesn't have Electro Wiz in hand. Okay, I will say I knew it was Splash Art, but I thought he would have Ice Wiz, because the version I would run now has Ice Wiz. But this Inferno Dragon was really lucky. He didn't put it in range, and it targeted the Mega Knight instead. But the way to get around trying to win this deck is using Inferno Tower to get value on every other troop he has when Electro Wiz is out of cycle. And then if he ever uses Tornado, trying to get Hog around it. And yeah, basically that. So right here I just went in. I was trying to get just a little bit of damage. He just... I don't know if that's like a great Tornado. I feel like you can do better there, like pulling it to the middle. But I never said he played perfect. He didn't. He shouldn't have even had to play very well to win this. But there's some ways, and you'll see like one move wins me the game, and that's what you have to pay attention for. Also, trying to get his Bowler out of hand for Hog is a big deal. And oh yeah, so yeah, he's beaming me constantly because this is like such an easy matchup for him. I end up going to his clan after because I'm a salty person, I guess. No, I'm not a perfect person. I went to his clan afterwards, and I was like, I just went and told him, I'm like, maybe you should only beat him after you know you're gonna win, or after the game's actually over. And he was like, you're lucky. I'm like, dude, you had a hard counter and you lost. I'm not the lucky one. But yeah, so going in with Hog behind the Inferno Dragon, pretty terrible Tornado by him, because he pulled the Inferno Dragon into it, but it didn't matter because he had Electro Wiz. I want to get Mega Knight on the back end. Okay, so the reason I decided to go Mega Knight here and then Inferno Dragon is because I know his Electro Wiz is out of hand. So he's going to have to go Bowler or Knight, and then my Inferno Dragon is actually going to be able to get value. And then now he's overcommitting defending on that lane, even though it's not going to get any damage. It gives me an opportunity to go Hog in the opposite lane and to potentially get damage. So you have to be playing, and then it still doesn't get any damage, but he is at an elixir deficit. So you have to think 2 or 3. You can't just stack everything in one lane. You have to bait out his counters on certain pushes and then go opposite lane. And this was a stupid poison. I shouldn't have poisoned this. I need poison for defense. So this is, I think, we're like, other than that Hog, which is kind of a mistake. Other than that first play, this was like the only mistake. I just wanted to try to get damage on the left side, but I need defensive poison. So that was a bad poison by me. I will say this next move though made up for everything. Both the hard counter and the like 1 or 2 mistakes I made. So I defend halfway decently, but okay, so I get this idea. So he's gonna play Bowler, right? I'm gonna play Ice Golem, acting like I'm going opposite lane, and then as soon as he plays his Bowler and it's in the wrong lane, I go Hog opposite lane, and now I poison to get rid of his Electro Wiz, and I'm back to an Inferno Dragon, and I know, and I have a Mega Knight alive still. Bowler's somewhat useful, but not as useful. It ends up not tanking the Mega Knight. My Inferno Dragons are getting a lot of value, taking out the second Bowler because his Electro Wiz isn't in hand. I'm just constantly throwing things down. I know he doesn't have a log. I know when Electro Wiz does come out that if I spam units, they will quickly kill it, and the Inferno Dragon won't be reset, and then it ends up dying, and my Inferno Dragon is able to lock onto the tower. So that was the thought process, and that's how I managed to win that matchup. That one mistake almost cost me the game. Like, that's all it was, really, because I used poison offensively, and I shouldn't have. But yeah, I ended up winning that matchup. And yeah, I went to his clan afterwards and told him he should stop BMing when he hasn't won yet. I already played Expo and you guys saw that, so I don't think I'll show this one. That game wasn't very close. What do spellbait-ish decks? I don't know. This should be kind of a hard counter, I guess, to me. I don't know though. He has arrows and skeleton army. That's kind of weird, but I'll show one more replay. Play one more live battle too, because I don't want this video to be too short. I played that really bad at the start. I went with preemptive poison because I thought this was a swarm deck, and I was right, so it worked out. My poison was kind of bad though. I don't know. No one places Goblin Gang like that far back. It kind of worked out for him though, because the Spirit Goblins ended up distracting Inferno Dragon. I have no idea why he played this like that. Just like randomly. Oh no, he does have Zap, so no, this is kind of a counter actually. He has Zap and arrows, yeah. I didn't expect him to Zap that. I should have gone Goblins and just distracted it instead of zapping. If you play Goblins, okay, so those Goblins are placed 1 tile too low, and I took an extra stab because of it, but if you place them between the bottom and the right Goblin like that, the bottom and the outside Goblin, because it's whatever tower you're on, the Goblins only get 1 hit. I knew Ice Golem would kill there, so I didn't zap. Or it killed most of the skeletons, and I get quite a bit of damage. Bat's doing work. Speed this up a bit. Poison the ground. Once again, he played Goblin. I thought he didn't, since I was going Hogs, I thought he didn't have Mega Knight, so when he did, I was like, oh. I was thinking, I don't know. I had no idea. This is kind of a weird deck. So right here, I go Mega Knight, mainly because I wanted to make sure his didn't connect, and then I just finish off his with Goblins. It was opposite lane, so I'm willing to take a little bit of damage. I think I do miss a Mega Knight on Goblin Gang that almost cost me the game. Yeah, right there. My bad, I shouldn't have sped up that fast, but the concept, I mean, it was on the lower side, so it didn't really matter. When you're dropping your Mega Knight, I believe you do it when the shadow is 3 tiles past the river, or past the bridge, so. And then it drops down and it'll kill all 3 instead of just hitting the 2 that's on the side of. Alright, let's do one more. That went really fast. Oh, let's open the chest as well. 22,000 gold, Valkyrie, Wizard, Mega Minion, Flying Machine, Royal Giant, Musketeer, Bomb Tower, Rocket, Baby Dragon, Arrows, Skeleton Army. Ooh, Skeleton Barrels, not bad. And then a Legendary Miner, nice. That's really nice. Halfway to max, actually. Grand Challenge is paying off. How many Grand Challenge cards am I at now? 384,000. Not bad. Oh, I have to start this for you guys. So actually, I'm going to make a video on this, and I think I'm going to release it before I do this video because I want to release this immediately, or maybe I'll release them like within a day of each other. But anyway, I want to get that video recorded, so you guys will probably see this after you see that video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.